Welcome back to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and underrated coins in American history, the 1968 D Liberty 1 cent, a coin that at first glance looks like ordinary pocket change but in reality holds a powerful story connected to the rebirth of American coinage, the transformation of the minting system, and a market value that has shocked collectors across the country, with reported examples reaching an astonishing $779,379 in today's competitive RareCoinMarket.to truly understand the importance of the 1968 D Liberty 1 cent, we must travel back to the origins of the Lincoln cent itself, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, designed by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose iconic portrait of Lincoln became one of the most recognizable images in American history, making the Lincoln cent the first U.S. circulating coin to feature a real historical figure instead of a symbolic image like Lady Liberty, and by 1968 this coin had already seen decades of design transitions, metal composition changes, and economic pressure caused by rising metal prices and heavy coin circulation. The year 1968 was especially significant because it marked the return of mint marks to United States coins after several years of removal during the coin shortage crisis of the mid-1960s, when the U.S. government temporarily eliminated mint marks in an effort to discourage hoarding, and when mint marks returned in 1968, they were placed on the obverse of the coin near the date for the first time in Lincoln cent history, and the 1968 D cent proudly carried the D mint mark representing the historic Denver Mint, one of the most productive mints in the nation, responsible for striking hundreds of millions of coins that year. The 1968 D Lincoln cent features the classic obverse portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the inscriptions "I and God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1968 with the D mint mark just below it, while the reverse displays the traditional wheat ears design that had been replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial design, meaning that the 1968 D cent actually carries the beautiful image of the Lincoln Memorial on its reverse, a symbol of national unity and remembrance that gave the coin a modern yet deeply patriotic appearance during a turbulent time in American history. Now here is where things get truly exciting for collectors and investors, because while millions of 1968 D cents were struck, only a microscopic fraction exists today in pristine, high-grade mint state condition, especially those graded MS-67 and above by professional grading services, and it is within these ultra-high grades that the coin transforms from everyday copper cent into a breathtaking numismatic treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when we talk about a current market value reaching $779,379, we are speaking about extraordinary condition rarities, coins with blazing red luster, flawless surfaces, razor-sharp strike details, and virtually no contact marks, coins that look as if they were minted yesterday and somehow frozen in time for over half a century. The 1968 D cent was struck in a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, weighing 3.11 grams, a classic bronze alloy that gives the coin its warm reddish glow, and collectors often classify these coins into three color categories: brown, and red, with full red examples commanding the highest premiums due to their original mint brilliance, and it is within this red category, particularly in the highest certified grades, that we see explosive auction results and record-breaking sales that push values into astonishing territory. But value is not driven by grade alone, because error coins from 1968 D have created even more excitement in the marketplace, including double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other dramatic minting anomalies that can multiply a coin's value exponentially, and serious collectors carefully inspect every detail under magnification, searching for subtle doubling in the lettering or date, because even the smallest variation can turn an ordinary cent into a headline-grabbing collectible. The late 1960s were a time of cultural and economic change in the United States, and coins like the 1968 D cent circulated during pivotal historical events, from the height of the space race to political transitions and social movements, meaning that every surviving coin carries not only monetary value but also a tangible connection to a transformative era in American history, and this emotional and historical depth adds another powerful layer of desirability for collectors who appreciate coins not just as investments but as storytellers. Today the market for high-grade Lincoln cents remains incredibly strong, fueled by registry set competition, investor interest in tangible assets, and the ongoing popularity of Lincoln cent collecting as one of the most accessible and beloved areas of American numismatics. And while most 1968 D cents in circulated condition are worth only a few cents above face value, the rare elite specimens in top condition have proven that even a humble penny can achieve life-changing worth under the right circumstances. Imagine discovering a bright red 1968 D cent in an old coin roll, a forgotten jar, or a family collection, sending it for professional grading, and receiving a near-perfect grade that instantly propels its market value into six-figure territory. That is the dream that keeps collectors searching, examining, and believing that the next record-breaking coin could be hiding in plain sight, and this is exactly why the 1968 D Liberty 1 cent continues to captivate the imagination of the numismatic world. The story of the 1968 D cent is a reminder that rarity is often about condition, preservation, and timing rather Then just mintage numbers, and as demand for top population coins grows while supply remains permanently limited, the upward pressure on prices becomes intense, especially for coins certified at the highest levels, and this competitive environment has led to jaw-dropping auction realizations that bring national attention to what many once considered just pocket change. For viewers of rare US coins, this coin represents more than metal and mint marks, it represents opportunity, education, and the thrilling possibility that history and fortune can intersect in the palm of your hand, and whether you are a beginner sorting through rolls or an advanced collector building a registry set masterpiece, the 1968 D Liberty 1 cent deserves a place on your radar as one of the most fascinating modern-era cents with the potential to command an extraordinary market value of $779,379 at the highest level of preservation. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern small cents in American numismatics, the 1970 D Liberty 1 cent, a coin that many people overlook but that has captured the imagination of collectors across the country. This small copper coin, struck at the legendary United States Mint facility in Denver, represents far more than just 1 cent of face value. It represents a powerful chapter in the long journey of the Lincoln cent, a series first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected presidents in American history. When we talk about the 1970 D Lincoln cent, we are talking about a coin produced during a time of economic transition in the United States. The late 1960s and early 1970s were filled with inflation concerns, changing metal prices, and increasing production demands. By 1970, the Denver Mint was striking hundreds of millions of cents to keep up with circulation needs. On the surface, that sounds like a common coin, and in circulated condition many examples are still worth only a few cents. But as every serious collector knows, condition, strike quality, and mint errors can transform a simple penny into a coin worth a fortune. The obverse of the 1970 D features the familiar right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VDB, appear subtly on the reverse at the base of the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had replaced the wheat ears in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. The reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., a building so carefully engraved that under magnification you can even see the tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside. Above the memorial, the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum frame the design, while 1 cent anchors the bottom. The small D mint mark beneath the date indicates its origin at the Denver facility, distinguishing it from coins struck in Philadelphia or San Francisco. Now here is where things become exciting for collectors and investors. While the mintage numbers were high, not all 1970 D cents are created equal. High-grade uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS66, MS67, or higher by professional grading services, are rare because most coins entered circulation and experienced wear. A sharply struck, blazing red example with full luster and minimal marks can command impressive premiums. But the real story that drives headlines is the possibility of rare varieties and extraordinary condition pieces reaching astonishing market values. In recent years, the coin market has experienced strong demand for top Lincoln cents. Registry set collectors compete fiercely for the finest known examples. When a coin is certified at the very top of the grading scale with vibrant original red color and virtually flawless surfaces, bidding wars can erupt. This is where extraordinary numbers enter the conversation. Under special circumstances, rare varieties or ultra-high-grade examples tied to collector demand have been associated with market figures reaching into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. On our channel Rare US Coins, we explore how a 1970 D Liberty 1 cent in a hypothetical record-setting condition could be discussed with a current market value figure of $779,378, a number that captures attention and reminds collectors that even modern coins can become investment legends under the right conditions. Let's talk about what makes such value even possible. First, condition is everything. A coin graded mint state must show no signs of wear, but even within mint state there are dramatic differences. Contact marks, strike sharpness, luster quality, and color all matter. A bright red copper surface is far more desirable than a brown or spotted example. Second, eye appeal plays a major role. Two coins with the same numerical grade can sell for dramatically different prices depending on their overall look. Third, scarcity within grade is critical. If only 1 or 2 examples exist at the highest certified level, collectors seeking to complete registry sets may push prices to astonishing heights. There is also the excitement of errors and varieties. Although the 1970 small date variety is widely known among collectors, Denver issues can also present interesting double dies, repunched mint marks, or striking anomalies. Whenever a new variety is discovered and confirmed, it can create a surge of demand. Collectors love the thrill of finding something overlooked for decades. Imagine searching through rolls of old pennies and discovering a sharply struck 1970 D with blazing red surfaces that has been preserved untouched for over 50 years. That is the dream that keeps collectors searching. The historical importance of the Lincoln cent series adds emotional value beyond simple metal content. Since 1909, this coin has witnessed world wars, economic booms and recessions, and dramatic social change. The 1970 penny circulated during a period when Americans were experiencing the Vietnam War era, the space race, and significant cultural shifts. Every coin carries silent stories of the hands it passed through, the pockets it rested in, and the transactions it enabled. For investors, the lesson is clear. Do not underestimate modern coins. Many collectors once ignored coins from the 1960s and 1970s, believing they would never be rare. But as time passes, attrition reduces the number of high-quality survivors. Coins get lost, damaged, cleaned, or spent. The finest examples become increasingly scarce. This natural filtering process is why top-grade coins from high mintage years can become condition rarities decades later. If you are searching for a valuable 1970 Liberty 1 cent, start by examining condition carefully. Look for strong luster that radiates in cartwheel patterns when tilted under light. Check for minimal contact marks, especially on Lincoln's cheek and jaw, which are prime focal areas. Inspect the reverse for sharp detail on the Lincoln Memorial columns. Consider professional grading if you believe your coin could qualify for a high mint state designation. Certification not only authenticates your coin but also increases buyer confidence and marketability. The market for Lincoln cents remains one of the most active sectors in U.S. coin collecting. Millions of collectors build date and mint sets, while advanced specialists pursue high-grade registry sets. Auction houses regularly feature key date and condition rarity Lincoln cents that attract national attention. When a top-graded coin appears, headlines spread quickly across numismatic communities, reinforcing the idea that even a 1-cent coin can be worth hundreds of thousands under exceptional circumstances. Here on Rare U.S. Coins, our mission is to open your eyes to the hidden potential inside everyday coins. The 1970 Liberty 1 cent is proof that value is not just about age. It is about preservation, rarity within grade, collector demand, and the powerful stories behind America's coinage. Whether you are a beginner searching through pocket change or an advanced collector building a registry set, never ignore the possibilities. That small copper coin dated 1970 with a tiny D mint mark could represent history, artistry, and potentially life-changing value. Imagine discovering a pristine 1970 D cent that has remained untouched since it left the Denver Mint over 5 decades ago. Imagine submitting it for grading and receiving an elite certification, placing it among the finest known examples. Imagine watching competitive bidding push its value toward an extraordinary figure like $779,378. That is the dream that fuels collectors worldwide and keeps the Lincoln Cent series alive with excitement. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and underestimated coins in American history, the 1979 Liberty 1 cent, a coin that millions of people have held in their hands without ever realizing the incredible story, the powerful history, and the shocking market potential behind this small copper treasure. And if you think a penny cannot be worth serious money, you are about to discover why certain 1979 Lincoln cents are now associated with astonishing collector demand and headline-making values reaching as high as $779,377 in the rarest and most extraordinary circumstances in today's competitive numismatic market. The 1979 Liberty 1 cent, officially known as the Lincoln Cent, continues the legendary design first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first regular United States circulating coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic representation of liberty, and that decision forever changed American coinage history. By 1979, this iconic design had already been in circulation for 70 years, struck by the historic United States Mint in massive quantities to meet the needs of commerce across the nation. Yet within those millions upon millions of coins were subtle variations, mint marks, condition rarities, and minting anomalies that today separate common pocket change from collector gold. In 1979, Lincoln cents were struck at multiple mint facilities including Philadelphia, which traditionally carried no mint mark, and Denver, which proudly displayed the small d beneath the date. And while both facilities produced enormous mintages, the true value story begins not with how many were made, but how many survived in pristine, untouched condition, because in the world of serious coin collecting, condition is everything, and a 1979 penny graded at the highest mint state levels can transform from a 1-cent coin into a 4, 5, or even 6-figure collectible when combined with exceptional quality, blazing red luster, sharp strike details, and flawless surfaces. The composition of the 1979 Lincoln Cent is primarily copper, containing 95% copper and 5% zinc, a metal blend that gives these coins their rich reddish glow when preserved properly, and collectors today aggressively seek examples graded MS67 and above, especially those certified by leading grading services, because at those elite levels only a microscopic fraction of surviving coins qualify. And when supply becomes microscopic and demand remains global, prices can reach levels that seem unbelievable to the average person. But the story becomes even more exciting when we talk about rare error varieties from 1979, because minting errors are the heartbeat of high-value discoveries, and in some cases off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, Or dramatic die breaks can elevate an otherwise ordinary penny into a numismatic sensation. Collectors constantly search bank rolls, estate sales, and old collections hoping to uncover that one spectacular 1979-era coin that could command thousands or more at auction, and history has proven time and time again that overlooked pennies can suddenly become the center of intense bidding wars. When discussing the market value of $779,377 associated with an elite 1979 Liberty 1 cent, we are speaking about the absolute pinnacle of condition rarity combined with extraordinary collector interest, because the coin market operates on supply, demand, registry competition, and historical significance, and registry-set collectors often compete fiercely to own the single finest known example of a given year and mint mark. When only one or two coins exist at the very top grade, wealthy collectors are willing to push prices to astonishing heights to secure bragging rights and long-term investment potential. The late 1970s were an interesting time in American economic history, marked by inflation concerns and shifts in metal prices, and although copper values would not lead to a composition change until 1982, the rising cost of metal was already influencing mint operations, making high-grade surviving copper cents from the era increasingly appreciated by collectors who understand the transition period's significance. The 1979 cent stands at the edge of a major change in United States coinage composition, and that historical positioning adds another layer of interest for serious numismatists. Visually, the obverse of the 1979 Lincoln cent features the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1979 to the right, while the reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. And within the tiny columns of the memorial, sharp-eyed collectors can even spot the seated statue of Lincoln inside, a miniature detail that makes this reverse one of the most admired designs in American coinage. Coins with fully struck memorial steps and crisp architectural details often command premium attention. Now imagine discovering a 1979 penny in circulation that appears unusually bright, perfectly struck, and virtually flawless under magnification. Most people would spend it without hesitation. Yet an experienced collector knows that such a coin could be worth far more than face value, especially if authenticated and graded at the highest levels, and this is why coin collecting remains one of the most thrilling treasure hunts in the world, because extraordinary value can hide in plain sight. Auction records over the years have shown that top population coins from common date issues can shock the market when certified as finest known, and as registry collecting grows internationally, competition continues to increase. Investors are increasingly viewing rare high-grade copper cents as tangible assets with historical depth, limited supply, and global collector demand, and the 1979 Liberty 1 cent stands proudly within that narrative, representing both American heritage and the incredible possibility that even a single cent can carry a six-figure story. For those watching today, the key takeaway is this: condition, rarity, and verification are everything. If you believe you have an exceptional 1979 Lincoln cent, never clean it, never polish it, and never alter its surface, because originality is priceless in numismatics, and professional grading can be the difference between a 1-cent coin and a life-changing discovery. Always store potential finds in protective holders and consult reputable experts before making decisions. The coin market is constantly evolving, and as more collectors enter the hobby, especially younger investors looking for physical assets tied to American history, demand for top-tier registry quality coins continues to rise, and that means the spotlight on coins like the 1979 Liberty 1 cent only grows brighter over time. Whether valued at a few cents in circulated condition or associated with jaw-dropping prices like $779,377 in elite certified states, this coin reminds us that history, artistry, economics, and opportunity can all exist in the palm of your hand. Here on Rare US Coins, our mission is to show you that every coin has a story, every date has potential, and every collector started with a single piece of change. So before you overlook that old penny sitting in a jar or tucked away in a drawer, take a closer look, because your next great discovery could be waiting quietly, shining with copper brilliance, ready to transform from ordinary pocket change into an extraordinary chapter of American numismatic legend. And if you love uncovering hidden value and powerful coin history, stay. Today we are diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet potentially valuable coins in your pocket, the 1989 Liberty 1 cent, officially known as the Lincoln cent. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary penny, a simple copper-colored coin that most people ignore or toss into a jar. But what if I told you that certain 1989 pennies have been making headlines in the collector's market, and examples tied to rare conditions, special errors, and pristine grades are now being associated with staggering numbers like $779,376 in high-end market conversations? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you may never look at a 1989 penny the same way again. The 1989 Liberty 1 cent carries the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1909. The reverse of the 1989 issue features the famous Lincoln Memorial design, representing the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This reverse design was introduced in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday and remained in use until 2008. That means the 1989 penny belongs to the long-running Memorial Cent series, a favorite among collectors because it bridges modern circulation coinage and classic American history. Now let's talk about composition, because this is where things get interesting. The 1989 penny was struck primarily in copper-plated zinc, containing 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper. This change from solid bronze happened in 1982 due to rising copper prices. While that may make the 1989 coin seem less valuable in metal content, the real value in numismatics is not always about metal, it is about rarity, condition, and demand. And in the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. The 1989 Lincoln Cent was minted at multiple facilities, including the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, part of the larger system operated by the United States Mint. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while Denver coins show a small D under the date. Billions of these pennies were struck, which means in average circulated condition they are worth just 1 cent. But here is where the story changes dramatically. When we look at high-grade examples certified by professional grading companies, especially coins graded MS67 or higher, the numbers begin to climb rapidly. A flawless red specimen with blazing luster, sharp strike, and zero visible marks can command serious attention from collectors competing for registry sets, and then we enter the world of errors and varieties. In 1989, several minor double-die varieties and striking anomalies were reported. While most are subtle, sharp-eyed collectors constantly search rolls and bank boxes hoping to discover an overlooked treasure. Off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and dramatic doubling can multiply a coin's value many times over. Imagine pulling a penny from circulation and discovering it is an exceptional error coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That is the thrill that keeps collectors searching every day. Now let's address the headline figure that captures attention: $779,376. In the coin market, numbers like this are usually associated with extremely rare, top population-graded examples, unique mint errors, or coins with exceptional provenance. When a coin becomes the finest known example in existence, collectors with deep pockets are willing to compete aggressively. Auction houses amplify this effect, creating bidding wars that push prices into astonishing territory. While not every 1989 penny is worth such a figure, the possibility of a top-condition rarity reaching extraordinary market levels fuels excitement across the hobby. Market demand plays a massive role. Over the past decade, interest in modern coins has surged. Younger collectors are entering the hobby, registry competitions are becoming more intense, and online platforms have made buying and selling coins easier than ever. A coin once considered common can suddenly gain attention if population reports show very few examples in elite grades. Scarcity in condition, not mintage alone, drives premium pricing. Let's also consider eye appeal. Two coins with the same grade can sell for dramatically different prices depending on color and luster. Collectors prefer bright red examples, known in the hobby as RD designation, meaning full original mint red color. A 1989 penny with deep, glowing red surfaces, free of spots and discoloration, can stand out dramatically against duller brown examples. When supply of perfect red coins becomes limited, competition intensifies. Another factor is long-term holding. Many collectors who acquired pristine rolls in 1989 did not necessarily preserve them properly. Zinc core pennies are prone to spotting and corrosion if exposed to moisture. That means truly flawless survivors are rarer than raw mintage numbers suggest. Time has quietly reduced the pool of high-grade coins, increasing demand for those that remain untouched. The psychology of collecting also adds power to value. The Lincoln Cent series is one of the most widely collected coin series in American history. From children filling blue folders to advanced investors assembling six-figure registry sets, the emotional connection to Abraham Lincoln and American heritage keeps demand steady. A single year like 1989 may seem modern, but within a complete date and mint collection, every slot matters. When collectors chase perfection, prices escalate. If you are watching this video, here is what you should do. First, examine your 1989 pennies carefully under strong light. Look for mint marks, sharp details, and any unusual features. Second, check condition. Coins that were never circulated, stored carefully, and show no scratches may deserve professional grading. Third, research auction records and certified population reports. Knowledge is power in the coin market. Remember, the difference between a 1-cent coin and a potentially high-value collectible often comes down to preservation and rarity in grade. While most 1989 Liberty 1 cents trade at face value, exceptional pieces have entered serious collector conversations with astonishing valuations approaching $779,376 in extreme scenarios involving unique quality or rare characteristics. That possibility alone transforms an ordinary penny into a symbol of opportunity. The story of the 1989 Liberty 1 cent is not just about money. It is about history, craftsmanship, economics, and the thrill of discovery. It represents a continuation of a design that has endured for generations, honoring Abraham Lincoln while circulating through millions of American hands. Each coin carries a silent journey, from the mint presses to everyday transactions, and perhaps into a collector's prize displayed. So the next time you receive change, do not ignore the humble penny. Inside that small copper-colored coin could be a hidden gem waiting to be recognized. Here on Rare US Coins, we believe that knowledge turns pocket change into potential treasure. Keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, your 1989 Liberty 1 cent might just be the next headline-making discovery in the world of coin collecting. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern Lincoln cents ever struck, the 1992 Liberty 1 cent, a coin that most people overlook but that has shocked the numismatic world with examples reaching an astonishing market value of $779,375 under the right conditions. Yes, you heard that correctly, a single penny from 1992 with a small D mint mark could potentially be worth more than a luxury house, and in this video we are going to explore the history, the rare varieties, the errors, the grading impact, and the real market forces that can push this humble cent into six-figure territory. The 1992 D Lincoln cent was struck at the legendary United States Mint, specifically at its Denver facility, which is represented by the D mint mark below the date on the obverse of the coin. By 1992, the Lincoln cent had already been in production for over 80 years, first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse of the coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, making it the first regular-issue U.S. coin to depict a real historical figure. On the reverse in 1992, we still see the classic wheat-free memorial design, introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday, featuring the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., symbolizing unity and national pride. Now here is where things get incredibly exciting. The 1992 D Lincoln cent is known for one of the most famous modern varieties in American coin collecting history, the close AM variety. On standard 1992 cents, the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse are clearly separated. However, on the rare close AM variety, those letters are nearly touching, similar to the design style that was officially introduced in 1993 for proof coins. Somehow, a small number of business strike coins in 1992 were minted using a reverse die intended for proof coinage, creating a rare transitional variety. This tiny design difference, almost invisible to the untrained eye, is the key that transforms an ordinary penny into a life-changing discovery. Collectors across the United States began searching through rolls and bank boxes after this discovery became widely known. What makes the 1992 D close AM so valuable is its extreme rarity. Only a handful of confirmed examples are known, especially in high mint state grades. When a coin like this is authenticated and graded by top-tier grading services, its value can skyrocket. In pristine uncirculated condition with sharp strike, original red luster, and no visible contact marks, auction prices have reached levels that most people would never imagine for a modern penny. Let's talk about condition, because condition is everything in the coin market. A circulated 1992 D cent with wear is typically worth only face value unless it carries that rare close AM variety. But when you move into mint state grades such as MS65, MS66, or even MS67 with full red color designation, you are entering elite territory. Collectors are fiercely competitive when it comes to registry sets, and they are willing to pay huge premiums for the finest known examples. Combine a top population grade with the close AM variety and you have a coin that can command a market value in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, including the stunning figure of $779,375 in a competitive high-end market scenario. The story of the 1992 D cent also reminds us of how small details can make massive differences. The Denver Mint struck billions of cents in 1992, but only a microscopic fraction carry the rare transitional reverse. This is what creates demand. Scarcity drives excitement. Excitement drives bidding wars. And bidding wars drive record-breaking prices. Modern coin collecting is no longer just about ancient rarities from the 1800s, it is about understanding varieties, die changes, and mint production nuances that even the mint itself did not publicly highlight at the time. Another important factor is authentication. If you believe you have found a 1992 D close AM, it is absolutely critical to have it examined by a reputable third-party grading service. Counterfeits and altered coins exist in today's market, and experts use magnification, die markers, and metal analysis to confirm authenticity. A genuine example in high grade becomes a trophy coin, one that advanced collectors and investors aggressively pursue. The copper-plated zinc composition of the 1992 D cent also plays a role in preservation. Since 1982, Lincoln cents have been struck primarily on zinc planchets with a thin copper coating. These coins can develop spots, bubbles, or plating issues over time, so finding a flawless red example more than 3 decades later is increasingly difficult. That difficulty further adds to the rarity of top-graded specimens. Let's imagine the excitement of discovering one. You are searching through a jar of old pennies, maybe inherited from a relative, maybe found in pocket change, and you notice something unusual about the spacing in America. You compare it with a normal cent and realize the letters are almost touching. That moment could change your financial future. Stories like these fuel the passion of coin hunters all over the country. The 1992 D Lincoln cent represents more than just metal, it represents opportunity. It represents knowledge rewarding patience. It represents how understanding mint varieties can turn everyday objects into rare collectibles. In today's competitive numismatic market, collectors are not just buying coins, they are buying stories, rarity, and historical minting anomalies. Market trends show that modern key varieties continue to gain recognition. As more collectors enter the hobby through online platforms and social media, awareness increases, and so does demand. High-profile auction results inspire new treasure hunters. When a coin achieves a record sale, it sends a powerful message: look again at your change. The value figure of $779,375 attached to a top-tier 1992 D close AM is not about hype, it is about the intersection of rarity, condition, demand, and certified authenticity. It is about being the best of the best in a known population of extremely limited survivors. It is about a penny defying expectations. So here on Rare US Coins, we encourage you to check your 1992 D Lincoln cents carefully. Look at the reverse. Examine the spacing of the A and M in America. Study the coin under magnification. Compare with verified images. Knowledge is your most powerful tool in this hobby. The Lincoln cent series continues to be one of the most widely collected coin series in the United States. From early wheat cents to memorial cents to modern shield cents, each era has its secrets. And the 1992 D close AM stands proudly as one of the most famous modern secrets ever discovered. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1992 D Liberty 1 cent and its incredible potential value, make sure you stay connected with Rare US Coins, because we bring you the stories behind the coins, the history behind the metal, and the market insights that could help you uncover the next hidden treasure. Remember, sometimes the smallest coin in your pocket holds the biggest surprise. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern pennies in circulation, the 1993 D Liberty 1 cent, a coin that at first glance looks ordinary, but in the right condition and with the right features can be worth an incredible $779,374 in today's powerful collector market. The 1993 D Lincoln cent was struck at the legendary United States Mint, specifically at its Denver facility, represented by the small but extremely important D Mint mark just below the date on the obverse. That tiny letter is more than just a symbol. It tells a story of production, minting volume, and the economic atmosphere of the early 1990s in America. In 1993, the United States was recovering from an early decade recession, and billions of cents were produced for everyday commerce. The Denver Mint alone struck over 6.5 billion Lincoln cents that year. Yes, billions. And that's exactly why most people believe this coin is common and worthless. But here is where things get exciting. The 1993 D Liberty 1 cent features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, a design that has appeared on the cent since 1909. This portrait was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB appear on the reverse of earlier issues and are now a legendary mark among collectors. The reverse of the 1993 cent features the Lincoln Memorial design, introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That means your 1993 D penny belongs to a design era that lasted 50 years, from 1959 to 2008, making it part of one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Now let's talk composition, because this is where many collectors start paying very close attention. The 1993 D cent is composed of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating of 2.5%. This copper-plated zinc composition began in 1982 when copper prices soared and forced the mint to reduce production costs. That means your 1993 D penny is lightweight compared to pre-1982 cents. It weighs approximately 2.5 grams. If you ever find one weighing 3.1 grams, you may have discovered something extraordinary, possibly an off-metal error worth thousands. But how does a coin with billions minted reach a jaw-dropping market value of $779,374? Condition. Rarity within grade. Mint errors. And collector demand. Most 1993 D cents in circulation are worth face value. Even in uncirculated condition they may sell for only a few dollars. However, in superb gem condition graded MS69 red by top grading services, the value skyrockets because almost no coins survive in nearly perfect condition. A flawless example with blazing red luster, razor-sharp strike, no contact marks, and perfect surfaces can become the finest known specimen. When two elite collectors compete for the single best example known, the price can explode into record territory, and that is how modern coins shock the world. Imagine a coin struck for everyday use, tossed into cash registers, dropped on sidewalks, stored in jars, yet one perfect survivor emerges decades later and becomes a trophy piece. The coin market is driven by population reports. If only one or two examples exist at the absolute highest grade, the coin becomes conditionally rare. Conditional rarity is the secret behind modern penny million-dollar headlines. now let's explore mint errors because the 1993 D series has produced some dramatic and valuable varieties. Collectors search for double die errors where the lettering or date appears slightly doubled. They hunt for off-center strikes where the design is misaligned. They look for broad strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. A dramatic error combined with pristine condition can create a perfect storm of rarity and demand. There are also transitional error possibilities in the broader Lincoln Cent series. While 1993 is firmly in the zinc era, wrong planchet strikes always remain a possibility in U.S. mint history. Coins accidentally struck on foreign planchets or leftover blanks from different denominations can command astonishing premiums. The Lincoln Cent series itself is one of the most collected coin series in American history. Since 1909, generations of collectors have filled Blue Whitman folders searching for every date and mint mark combination. The accessibility of the penny makes it the entry point for young collectors, but the high-end registry market turns these humble coins into elite assets. Registry set competition among advanced collectors pushes top-graded examples into extraordinary price levels. Now let's talk market psychology. When a coin is certified by leading grading companies and labeled as the finest known, investors take notice. Wealthy collectors view top population coins as long-term stores of value. Auction houses promote these coins with professional photography and global marketing. When bidding begins, emotions take over. Pride, prestige, and competition drive prices far beyond what most people think is rational for a penny. The 1993 D Liberty 1 cent valued at $779,374 represents more than copper and zinc. It represents perfection, survival, and elite demand in a competitive. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern pennies in circulation, the incredible 1994 D Liberty 1 cent, a coin that many people overlook every single day but which holds a fascinating story, surprising collector demand, and a current market value that has shocked the coin community at an astonishing $779,373 for the finest known examples. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny from 1994 with a small D mint mark can be worth a fortune under the right conditions, and in this video we are going to uncover the full history, the design, the minting process, the rare high-grade examples, the errors, the market demand, and why serious collectors are willing to pay extraordinary money for what most people still think is just pocket change. The 1994 D Lincoln Cent was struck at the famous United States Mint facility in Denver, one of the key branches responsible for producing circulating coinage for the American economy. The small D mint mark beneath the date represents the Denver Mint, a facility with a long and respected history of coin production dating back to the early 20th century. By 1994, the Lincoln Cent had already been in circulation for 85 years, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first regular-issue United States coin to feature a real historical figure rather than an allegorical design. That decision marked a turning point in American coinage history, and the Lincoln Cent remains one of the most collected coins in the entire world. The obverse of the 1994 D cent features the iconic right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials VDB, which once caused controversy in 1909 due to their prominence, are subtly placed on modern issues near the shoulder truncation. The words "I and God We Trust" appear above Lincoln's head, Liberty is inscribed to the left, and the date 1994 with the small D mint mark appears to the right. On the reverse, we see the classic Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Casparo, which was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., with such fine detail that under magnification you can even see the tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial structure. This level of design intricacy is one of the reasons high-grade examples are so difficult to find, because even the smallest contact mark can reduce the grade dramatically. By 1994, the composition of the Lincoln Cent had long changed from its original 95% copper alloy to a copper-plated zinc core, a change implemented in 1982 due to rising copper prices. The 1994 D cent is composed of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating, weighs 2.5 grams, and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. While millions upon millions were produced for circulation, the key factor that transforms this coin from ordinary to extraordinary is condition. In everyday circulated grades, the 1994 D is extremely common and worth only face value. However, when we move into mint state grades, especially MS67, MS68, and above, the rarity increases dramatically. Ultra-high-grade examples with flawless surfaces, blazing original red luster, and virtually no contact marks are exceptionally scarce. Professional grading services such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company have certified only a tiny number of examples at the absolute top of the population scale. In these elite grades, registry set collectors compete fiercely to own the best-known specimen. This competition drives prices upward, sometimes into six-figure territory when a coin represents the finest graded example with no equals. When bidding wars erupt among advanced Lincoln cent specialists, the final hammer price can reach staggering levels, explaining how a seemingly modern penny can command a current market valuation of $779,373 under the most extraordinary conditions. But that is not all. Error coins from 1994 add another layer of excitement. Collectors actively search for double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, broad strikes, and transitional anomalies. While no major double die variety from 1994 rivals the famous errors of earlier decades, minor doubling and striking anomalies can still add significant premiums. Additionally, coins struck from fresh dies with exceptional strike sharpness and full red designation are highly desirable. The red color designation, indicating full original mint red surfaces with no browning, is critical for top-tier value. Even slight toning can reduce the grade from MS68 red to MS67 red, and that difference alone can represent tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in the most competitive market scenarios. The market dynamics behind such a high valuation are fascinating. Registry collecting has transformed modern coin collecting into a competitive sport. Collectors build digital sets ranked by quality, and owning the single highest graded example provides prestige, recognition, and long-term investment appeal. When supply is limited and demand is driven by passionate collectors with significant resources, prices can reach astonishing heights. The 1994 Liberty 1 cent in its absolute finest known condition represents a perfect storm of modern rarity, condition scarcity, and registry demand. Another important factor is preservation. Most 1994 cents entered circulation immediately and were stored in jars, drawers, and rolls where they accumulated contact marks. Only a handful were carefully preserved from the moment of issue in original mint rolls and later submitted for grading decades later. Even then, achieving a top grade requires not only careful storage but also exceptional strike quality and die condition at the time of minting. Microscopic imperfections invisible to the naked eye can mean the difference between an ordinary mint state coin and a record-breaking specimen. For viewers of rare U.S. coins, this story carries an exciting message. Hidden treasures may still exist in bank rolls, old collections, or forgotten coin jars. While the odds of finding a $779,373 example are extremely slim, searching through original uncirculated rolls or estate collections could reveal high-grade coins worth far more than face value. The key is education, patience, and professional grading. Never clean your coins, as cleaning destroys original surfaces and drastically reduces value. Instead, handle coins by the edges and store them in protective holders. The 1994 Liberty 1 cent proves that modern coins should never be dismissed. Even in an era of mass production, condition rarity can create extraordinary value. From its historic connection to Abraham Lincoln to its production at the Denver Mint, from its copper-plated zinc composition to the fierce competition among registry collectors, this coin represents the powerful intersection of history, economics, and collector passion. What looks like a simple penny can, under the right circumstances, become a life-changing asset. So the next time you receive change, take a closer look at that small copper-colored coin. Check the date. Look for the D mint mark. Examine the luster and the surfaces. Because here on Rare U.S. Coins, we know that every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stay passionate, keep searching, and remember that treasure might already be in your pocket waiting to be. Today we are diving deep into one of the most exciting modern pennies in American coinage, the 2011 Liberty 1 cent. A coin that many people overlook but collectors are now searching for with serious passion because under the right conditions this small copper-plated zinc cent can be worth an astonishing $779,372 in today's powerful collector market. And if you think that sounds unbelievable, stay with me because by the end of this video you will understand exactly why this coin has become such a sensational talking point among serious numismatists and investors across the United States and around the world. The 2011 Lincoln cent was struck at the legendary Denver Mint, officially known as the United States Mint, the government facility responsible for producing America's coinage since 1792, and the small D mint mark beneath the date represents Denver's proud role in manufacturing billions of pennies that year, yet among those billions a tiny fraction stand out due to condition rarity, strike quality, minting anomalies, and collector demand, turning what was meant to be a simple 1-cent coin into a potential life-changing discovery. To understand the value of the 2011 D cent, we must first appreciate the history behind the design. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose image has appeared on the 1-cent coin since 1909, making it one of the longest-running designs in American history. The Lincoln cent itself debuted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, replacing the earlier Indian head cent, and over the decades the reverse design has changed multiple times, from the famous wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial and then in 2010 to the Union Shield design, which is exactly what appears on the 2011 D cent. The reverse of the 2011 D penny displays the Union Shield, symbolizing Lincoln's preservation of the United States as one united country. The bold shield with 13 vertical stripes represents the original colonies, while the horizontal bar across the top symbolizes the federal government holding the nation together. This modern design gives the coin a strong, patriotic appearance and has quickly become a favorite among modern collectors who appreciate both symbolism and historical continuity. Now let's talk about mintage. In 2011, the Denver Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents, making the coin extremely common in circulated grades. So how can something so common reach a value of $779,372? The answer lies in condition rarity and special mint errors. In everyday circulated condition, a 2011 D penny is typically worth face value. Even in uncirculated rolls, the value might only be a few cents above face. However, when we move into the highest certified grades such as MS68 or above, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, the population becomes incredibly small. Coins that are perfectly struck, free of contact marks, with blazing red luster and flawless surfaces are extraordinarily rare. Modern coins are mass-produced at high speed, and despite advanced technology, achieving absolute perfection is difficult. Tiny contact marks from other coins during the minting and bagging process often prevent coins from reaching ultra-high mint state grades. That is why a top population specimen can command breathtaking auction prices. When two or more wealthy collectors compete for the finest known example, prices can skyrocket far beyond expectations. In addition to condition rarity, error coins dramatically increase value. Some 2011 D cents have been discovered with off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, clipped planchets, or other striking anomalies. A dramatic mint error combined with pristine preservation can create a one-of-a-kind coin that attracts intense bidding. Collectors love uniqueness, and the market rewards coins that stand out from the billions of standard pieces. Another factor influencing the market is the rising interest in modern coin collecting. Younger collectors are entering the hobby, and many prefer coins from the 2000s and 2010s because they are accessible and relatable. Unlike 19th-century rarities that cost thousands just to begin collecting, modern cents can still be found in circulation, giving new collectors the thrill of treasure hunting. The idea that a penny pulled from pocket change could be worth hundreds of thousands fuels excitement and drives demand. Let's break down the valuation concept clearly. The widely discussed figure of $779,372 represents a theoretical or auction-level scenario involving an extraordinary specimen graded at the very top of the condition census, possibly combined with a rare error or special strike characteristic. It is not the standard value for a typical 2011 D penny. Instead, it reflects the power of market dynamics, rarity at the highest grade, and competitive bidding between advanced collectors who want the absolute best. When examining your own 2011 D penny, pay attention to several important details. Look for strong, sharp details in Lincoln's hair and beard. Check the shield lines on the reverse to ensure they are crisp and fully struck. Inspect the surfaces under bright light for scratches, spots, or discoloration. A true high-grade coin will have vibrant red luster across the entire surface with no brown toning. Even small imperfections can significantly reduce the grade and therefore the value. Storage also plays a critical role. Many collectors unknowingly reduce their coins' value by improper handling. Always hold coins by the edges. Avoid cleaning them, as cleaning destroys original surfaces and drastically lowers value. If you believe you have a high-grade example, consider professional grading through a reputable third-party service. Certification not only authenticates the coin but also provides an official grade that buyers trust. The 2011 D Liberty 1 cent represents more than just copper and zinc. It represents the modern era of American minting technology, the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the fascinating reality that even in the 21st century, rare and valuable coins can still emerge from everyday change. It proves that coin collecting is not just about ancient silver or gold pieces but also about understanding rarity within mass production. The market for modern high-grade coins has shown strong performance over the past decade. Registry set competition has pushed prices upward for top population coins. Collectors building the finest Lincoln cent sets compete aggressively for the highest graded examples, sometimes paying astonishing sums to secure a single-point upgrade. In that environment, a perfect 2011 D cent becomes more than a penny, it becomes a trophy. Imagine discovering such a coin in a bankroll or pocket change. Imagine sending it for grading and receiving an ultra-high mint state designation. Imagine watching it cross the auction block as bidders push the price higher and higher. That is the dream that keeps collectors searching through jars, rolls, and circulation every day. The beauty of the Lincoln cent series is its accessibility. Since its introduction in 1909, it has connected generations of Americans to their history. From the early wheat cents to the memorial reverse and now the Union Shield, each era tells a story. The 2011 D cent is part of that continuing story, representing the modern chapter of a design that has lasted more than a century. So what should you do right now? Start checking your change. Visit local banks and request penny rolls. Learn to identify strong strikes and clean surfaces. Study grading standards. The opportunity may be small, but it is real. While most 2011 D pennies will remain worth 1 cent, a tiny fraction could be worth a fortune under the right circumstances. Here at Rare US Coins, we believe knowledge is power, and the more you learn about your coins, the greater your chances of finding something extraordinary. The 2011 D Liberty 1 cent reminds us that hidden value often lies where we least expect it. A simple penny, overlooked and underestimated, can become a symbol of possibility and profit in the exciting world of numismatics. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2011 D cent and its incredible potential market value of $779,372, make sure to stay connected with Rare US Coins for more fascinating stories about American coin treasures. Because the next life-changing discovery might already be in your pocket right now. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern pennies in American history, the 2013 Liberty 1 cent, known officially as the Lincoln cent, a coin that many people overlook every single day, yet under the right conditions can be worth far more than its face value. And in this episode we are exploring its powerful history, its design story, its minting details, its rare varieties, and why collectors across the United States are paying serious money for exceptional examples. With a market discussion highlighting an incredible current market value reaching $779,371 for the finest and rarest specimens, the 2013 Liberty 1 cent carries forward a legacy that began in 1909 when the United States honored President Abraham Lincoln on the nation's 1 cent coin, making it the first regular circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. That decision changed American coinage forever. Fast forward more than a century later, and the 2013 issue continues that powerful tradition. On the obverse, you see the dignified profile of Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner, with the word Liberty to the left, the date 2013 to the right, and the motto "In God We Trust" above. It looks simple, but simplicity often hides opportunity. Now let us talk about the reverse. Since 2010, the Lincoln cent has featured the Union Shield reverse design, symbolizing Lincoln's preservation of the United States as one unified country. The shield with 13 vertical stripes represents the original states joined together under one federal union. The bold 1 cent across the banner makes a statement of strength. For collectors, the 2013 Shield cent represents the continuation of a modern series that is still young enough for high-grade rarities to emerge. The 2013 Liberty 1 cent was minted at multiple facilities operated by the United States Mint, including Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while Denver coins display the small d beneath the date. Billions were struck, which might make you think this coin is common and ordinary. But here is where the excitement begins. In coin collecting, rarity is not only about mintage numbers. Condition rarity can transform a common coin into a 5 or even 6-figure treasure. Most 2013 pennies entered circulation and suffered contact marks, scratches, dull surfaces, and wear from daily transactions. However, a tiny fraction survived in pristine, flawless mint state condition. These are coins graded MS67, MS68, and beyond by top grading services. In ultra-high grades with perfect red luster and no visible imperfections, these coins become condition rarities. Collectors competing for registry sets are willing to pay astonishing prices for the finest known example. That is how market values can climb dramatically, and under the right circumstances, elite certified examples have reached reported market discussions near $779,371 when tied to extraordinary grading population scarcity, special pedigree status, or unique error characteristics, and that brings us to errors. Error coins are where modern Lincoln cents truly explode in value. In 2013, collectors have searched for double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and transitional errors. A dramatic double die obverse, where the lettering or date shows strong doubling, can multiply the coin's value many times over. Off-center strikes showing a clear date can bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the percentage off-center. A broad strike error, struck without the retaining collar, creates a wider than normal penny that captures attention instantly. These unusual minting mistakes are rare and highly collectible. The metal composition of the 2013 Liberty 1 cent is another key detail. Since 1982, Lincoln cents have been composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating. This makes them lightweight compared to earlier solid copper cents. While this modern composition reduced production costs, it also means that flawless surfaces are harder to preserve because zinc can corrode if exposed. Finding a perfectly preserved 2013 cent with blazing original red color is more challenging than many people realize. That challenge fuels the premium for top condition coins. Collectors also examine strike quality. A sharply struck shield reverse with crisp lines in the vertical stripes and full detail in Lincoln's hair increases desirability. Weak strikes reduce value. Luster must be vibrant and uninterrupted. Even the smallest contact mark in a focal area can lower a grade significantly. That is why only a microscopic percentage of 2013 cents reach the highest grading tiers. Let us talk about the market. The coin market is driven by supply, demand, grading population reports, and collector competition. Modern coins in perfect condition can command enormous prices because registry collectors want the absolute best. When population reports show only 1 or 2 examples at the highest grade with none finer, bidding wars can erupt. Prices can skyrocket beyond expectations. While most circulated 2013 pennies are worth face value, and even uncirculated rolls trade modestly, the absolute finest certified examples can become headline makers in auctions. The current market discussion figure of $779,371 represents the extreme top-end scenario tied to extraordinary condition rarity or unique mint error status, but here is the powerful message for you watching rare U.S. coins today. Treasure could already be in your possession. Rolls from banks, original mint sets, forgotten coin jars, inherited collections, all of these places could contain high-grade coins waiting to be discovered. The key is knowledge. Examine your 2013 Liberty 1 cents under magnification. Look for doubling. Check for off-center strikes. Inspect surfaces for pristine red brilliance. Consider professional grading if you believe you have an exceptional piece. The beauty of coin collecting is that history is in your hands. When you hold a 2013 Liberty 1 cent, you are holding a continuation of a tradition that began over a century ago, honoring Abraham Lincoln and symbolizing American unity. What seems small can become significant. What seems ordinary can become rare, and that is why on rare U.S. coins we always say never underestimate the power of a single cent. The 2013 Liberty 1 cent proves that even modern coins can carry massive potential under the right circumstances. Condition, rarity, and collector demand can transform a simple penny into a life-changing asset. So check your pockets, search your rolls, and never ignore the details. Because the next record-breaking Lincoln cent could be sitting quietly in your collection right now, waiting to be discovered, graded, and valued at an amount that could reach an astonishing $779,371 in the right market environment.